And then it also messes with your it messes with your stress levels too. Like if you're talking or doing anything that's involving an activity, and then like you hear something and somebody's directing like some type of V2K or something like that, and it's a stressful situation, do you know that that stressful situation can cause you dementia, of course, or can cause you to have brain issues or brain tissue issues due to the stress levels? And if you have a stress level of, once you hear the V2K, is when your stress level goes up or goes down, that's promoting the wrong thing. That's actually fake feelings. It's false feelings. You know what I'm saying? It's what the targeted individual unite page was about on Facebook. That somebody had like hurried up and kicked me off of because I was sitting here spitting facts just like this. But they never stopped. So I'm not going to stop neither. I'm not about to be one of these people that's invisible that you can't see or something like that. And you're like, hey, didn't I? Didn't he say this? Oh, don't I know him from somewhere? But he wasn't talking about this or that. No, I was. But see, when I'm talking about this, sometimes they project stuff like morphine and stuff like that on the people too. So when you're speaking or when you're outspoken, and then when you start to talk or you start to become regular or you come back to yourself, your normal self, you're not the same person because they've been projecting morphine and all these type of Michael Jackson drugs on people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how people don't be the same when you see them, and they be all fucked up because they've been stressing, and then you've been projecting drugs and all this. What's that anti-Semitic? Yeah, anti-Semitism and stuff like that, man. That's why they had that law about it, and that's why it was all on the news and stuff. You know, that's why some of the apps or some of the things that I do is scientific based. That's the only thing that I'm going to be on. Because there's no reason to be thinking about nothing else for the future instead of how to build towards that. Be an architect towards building a future of your community or of another person. Because if they're projecting these things, it's ultimately going to be a league of stupid people or a league of smart people, or it's going to be just lower class and higher class. And I'm not going to be of the lower class. I'm going to be superior. Superior is always going to be the highest class. It's never going to be middle class. It shouldn't. That's why they're trying to get rid of middle class. There's no reason to have it. You're either smart or you're stupid. You're either dogmatic or you're falsified or falsification. There's no in between for real. It ain't really no middle class unless you're really quiet. But if you're using your phone and you're texting, you're not really quiet. You're still talking. And if you're still talking, that means that you're a part of one of these classes. It might be the middle class, but it's a middle class texter or a middle class person that's slow to say anything, or you're shy. So you don't want to say anything to anybody. So you're like a middle class shy person. Which in this world, if they don't want a middle class, that means that they don't want no shy people. You're either gonna be broke or you're gonna be rich. You're either gonna talk a lot or you're gonna talk a little bit, which is still shy. So we should have a middle class, but if they don't want that, that must mean that the lower class and the higher class is supposed to be talking about something. And if they're supposed to be talking about something, that means that everybody is going to grow. And if everybody's going to grow because they're talking about something, how is there going to be a lower class? It don't make no sense, huh? That must mean that the future is getting geared up towards the higher class. So if you want to be a part of the higher class, then learn from the higher class or talk about something that's going to make you feel like you should be a part of the higher class or build towards being a high class person with a high class mindset. So always brainstorm ideas. Always use your brain because it's a terrible thing to waste. It's a terrible thing to waste. And it's easy to tell when somebody is off. It's easy to tell when something happened to somebody, like if they had a brain injury or something like that. It's easy because they have slurred speech. But that slurred speech and all that stuff can easily come from stress and the wrong signals being directed to the wrong person. And most of the time these days, if somebody don't like you in the high class, they're going to directly direct energy towards you that's of the low class and keep you out the way. So you can't talk to nobody. And that would mean that you're middle class. And that would mean that you're shy. That would mean that they don't understand you. So if they don't understand you and we're leading, I mean, and certain people are being guided to be high class, then the high class is going to always talk to the low class anyway, because the low class is going to talk anyway, if that's the way that the future is leading us anyway. The future is only going to be based upon what we do now. People don't understand that. 2000 to 2100, that's 100 years. That's the beginning of the next 900 years, geared to the year 3000. As I always stated, we're the first ones that's going to start off the next 900 years. Do you understand that? Only 1900 to 19100. I mean, 1900 to 1999. I mean, hold on. Yes, only 1900 to 1999. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what was they doing in the 1900s? To 19, I mean, what, 1901, 1902, 19, what, 88? You know what I'm saying? 1999. Oh, I'm thinking about what? 100 years. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The next 100 years, not thousand. My bad, my bad. But what was they talking about in 1910 through 1999? Probably not this. But if they was, that's how we got to the year 2000. So if we got to the year 2000 about what they was talking about between the 1900s and 2000, then that must mean that the people in 1910 or 19 in the 1900s to now, if you look back on what they did from then until now, look at what they did for the Backstreet Boys to come out. Look what they did for the housing to look the way that it does. Look what they did with history to keep history going when you're looking at the